Let's bring in Matt Baker from the BC Lions. Matt, how are you, my man? Good to see you.
Dupes, good to be here. How are you, bud?
I'm doing great. Look, you'll love to hear this. I was pulling up some of the futures odds as we get set for the first regular season week or preseason week for most teams, second for Saskatchewan. MVP odds, the MOP odds at DraftKings have Vernon Adams as the odds-on favorite to win the MOP as we sit here going into the preseason, which is awesome. So, and not, it's deservedly so. And the usual suspects are at the top of this list. Vernon Adams is 1, Zach Collaros is 2, Brady Oliveira is 3, Cody Fajardo's 4, and AJ Ouellette is 6th. Who's 5th?
Oh, that's a tough one. I can give 2 guesses. I go Trevor Harris or McLeod Bethel Thompson.
Macbeth is a great kind of off the radar pick for sure. Trevor Harris is behind AJ Ouellette. Who's that?
Kind of a wild card, Bethel Thompson. People have kind of forgot about him. Yeah,
100%. But not unprecedented 4 or 5 years ago. But maybe today, Bo Levi Mitchell is 5th on the betting odds to be the MOP. I would not have guessed it. But you know what? Maybe they know something that we don't. Maybe the walking boot meant nothing. Jim Barker was with us last hour and said he was at Hamilton Tiger Cats training camp. And, Bo was throwing the ball really well with Scott Milanovich's offense at a high tempo. So you know what? Hey, I'm here for it. Bo, 5th odds to win the Grey Cup. But we're not here to talk about Bo. How's training camp, man? Are you home from Kamloops or are you still out there?
Absolutely not. Sitting here in my wonderful dorm room at Thompson Rivers University. We're going to jet out to Calgary in about 4 or 5 hours. So a quick little 24-hour trip across the Rockies. Yeah, it's been good. Vibes are good, but I'd say business-like. I mean, everyone knows what the goal is. Everyone knows the storylines. Last 2 years, knocking on the door, having to go to Winnipeg. We all know probably going to be best served getting a Western final at home. Everyone knows that, but you can't think about that yet. It's about getting better day by day. And the odds-on favorite for our MOP, Vernon Adams Jr., led the CFL in passing last year. He looks as good as he's ever looked. And it's a compliment to some of the talent that's been brought in to surround him, because I know there's some question marks on this roster at receiver. Couple of departures and an injury to Keon Hatcher, but I'd say it's good. Camp is always when everything sort of comes together, and it's a credit to Rick Campbell, Neil McAvoy, Ryan Rigmaiden, and everybody that they're taking care of these guys. It's been good.
Love to hear that. You talk about some of the turnover. William Stanback is there. Christian Covington is there.
Yep.
2 exciting acquisitions. How they fit in so far through camp?
Well, happy to say that Covington's back practicing. He missed the better part of a week, a bit of a hamstring tweak. A lot of that's precautionary too, right? He's technically a Canadian rookie non-counter, but this is a 10-year NFL veteran, right? So he was back out there yesterday, and William Stanback, same thing. He took a couple of days off, didn't suit up in the scrimmage last weekend, but he's come as advertised. The connection with VA obviously was a big attraction to bringing him in as well, and he's going to give another element to this offense for sure. So love both of those guys. 2 great additions, and
you mentioned
2 guys who are going to have a say in what happens.
You mentioned VA. What does the QB room look like behind Vernon Adams Jr. as you guys get set for your first preseason game? We know Jake Dolagala was signed, the former Saskatchewan Roughrider quarterback. How does it look past VA?
I'd say, and this is no disrespect to what was here before, but I'd say that that was an important upgrade. Dolagala, we saw firsthand. We went to Regina last August, I think it was, and he was picking this Lions defense apart because, of course, stepping in for Trevor Harris is not an easy situation. And I know they didn't win a lot of games, but I know he caught the eye of a lot of people across the league, and that was a guy that they were targeting and he's worked well with his unit of the offense. He's improved gradually, I'd say. And then Dakota Prukop, this will haunt us for a long time until we get over that hump. Short yardage was a problem last year, and if anything, Dakota will come in and be a nice stabilizing force there. Maybe you run him in some packages. You get into some second and short, 2nd and 2, 2nd and 3. Maybe you bring a guy in for a couple of plays. There's some options there in the playbook. And then Chase Bryce is here, 4 quarterbacks in total. Played at Clemson after Trevor Lawrence and came in early part of last year. So those are the 4. And if you talk to VA, he would say that this quarterback room is solid.
Talk about getting to that, Western Division final and, trying to take that next step. And this group, those expectations are sky high. I look at, back to 2011, winning that Grey Cup at home in BC. And that was that real stretch, right? The Lions won at home in 2011. The Argos won at home in 2012. The Riders won at home in 2013. Is it hard to not look at the Grey Cup being in BC this year and, look at the destination ahead of the process? That can be quite distracting, especially with all the excitement going on in BC. How is the outlook as you guys enter camp or through camp?
That's an interesting one. And I think Rick Campbell has the right message to this group. And in the various interviews he's done, that's the number one question he's been asked all offseason. And, I think the simple way to explain that is every year you want to win the Grey Cup, no matter where it is. Now, if we end up there and it just happens to be at BC Place, would that be a little extra special? Absolutely. But, we can't sit here and say it's more important, because then next year, are you not going to look at it with the same urgency because it's in Winnipeg? I mean, that's an interesting one. And, 2 of the more memorable Grey Cup wins for this franchise came at home, 2011 and 1994. In retrospect, being at home made those a little bit more significant, perhaps. But I think they have the right message. You want to win the Grey Cup no matter where it is. And it just so happens where we are in this cycle, Dupes, that this is a year to win it, right? This is an important year to take that next step. It's a coincidence, I guess, that way. But publicly, the guys will say that it's no more urgent than any other year. But if it happens to take place at home, great. That's how I feel. Anyway.
I know, but it is an important year for the whole organization. And we've seen what Amar Doman's done, to invigorate that fan base. And that hasn't just been a one-man thing. It's also been a great product on the field, and then stars that you can relate to and you want to cheer for and all the rest. Yeah. And then you look at this year with, this isn't new, but training camps in Kamloops. You got Touchdown Pacific in Victoria. You got the Grey Cup in Vancouver. Are you see the efforts there to try and get the entire province to buy into this team and really captivate the province? Has that translated? Are you seeing that in the streets?
Well, yeah, and then as an organization, we're branding this our biggest year ever. It's our 70th season. We're going to have our Legends game in September against Toronto, where the 2000 champions will go on to our Wall of Fame. And I think there's some plans in the works to invite some special alumni back for that one. And Touchdown Pacific is going to be a big one. That's going to definitely add an even more exciting element to Labor Day weekend. And I've had a chance to visit the site, Royal Athletic Park, a couple of times. It's hard to envision it when it's not built yet, but we're looking forward to seeing this when it's done. That's going to be hair standing on the back of your neck a little bit, I think, when we get there for the first practice. I think we're going in there a couple days early to have at least one full practice in Victoria. So, yeah, that just adds another chapter to it, right? 70th year, playing our first home game outside of Vancouver. And, just so happens that Grey Cup, all roads lead back home. So it could be a nice little story written, but I'm just glad the players and coaches have the right mindset. No one's looking ahead, but hard not to think for guys like me. It's going to be good.
Oh, 100%. Your job is to look ahead and, plan for all those things and have fun and enjoy it along the way. Look, I know you don't, because you're going to be on the road with the Lions preseason tomorrow, but does any of your family, friends have Whitecaps tickets for Saturday? And have you been following this Whitecaps story? We haven't talked about it today, but wild. 50,000 people expected to be there, 55,000 to set an MLS record for the Whitecaps versus Inter Miami. And then Lionel Messi, amongst other stars, at the last minute, we find out they're going to be resting and they're not coming. And people are upset, man.
As they should be. One word for that, shameful. I mean, I feel for our friends at the Whitecaps, co-tenants at BC Place. And I'm of the mind that all sports clubs in our city, when they're winning, we've just had a very exciting Canucks season come to an end. When everyone's winning, that's great for everybody. And props to the Whitecaps for responding as best they could. I think they're offering half off food and beverage. Kids are going to get some free stuff as well. So it's no fault of the Whitecaps, but shameful is all I'll say. That's and you know what? I think they're expecting over 50,000. That's going to be their largest crowd since they went MLS. So hopefully they get something out of it, and it ends up being a good match, a great game, a good vibe. And some of those people who maybe bought tickets to see these guys say, hey, we'll come back. So, but you can't help but feel sorry for those who wanted to see these guys play.
Yeah. That's tough. That's tough. Look, before we let you go, what's going on with you on the BC Lions socials, the bclions.com, and all the rest? What exciting content and stuff do you got out there for people to check out?
Yeah, the video guys are doing their thing, working around the clock. Our BC Lions YouTube channel is pretty well populated. We've got some practice recaps. We've done a few podcasts, First and Now Lions podcasts, available wherever you get your podcasts. Arrow Up, behind-the-scenes documentary back for a third season. I know Nick Kowalski, Liam Thompson have been filming some impressive behind-the-scenes content. So it's kind of our answer to Hard Knocks, if you will. So, it's training camp. It's a candy store for content, as you know, Darren. Props to our content team. We've got a lot going out.
I love it. That stuff is always the best, and we're paying close attention, Matt. Enjoy the rest of Kamloops, and have fun this weekend. Okay, you too, Dupes. We'll look forward to seeing you in Toronto, perhaps, in about 16 days. Week 1, baby. Looking forward to it, man. Looking forward to it. Matt Baker's with the BC Lions as they get set, open up their preseason schedule on the road in Calgary. 4 games tomorrow. Toronto's in Montreal, Ottawa's in Hamilton, Saskatchewan visiting the Edmonton Elks.